God says, this message is being delivered to you in a moment when the heavens are vibrating with a rare kind of joy. Archangel Michael is dancing, not with celebration alone, but with a deep relief that feels like a long-awaited sunrise after years of darkness. He is moving with a radiant happiness because the case that has followed you silently, the one you didn't even know was being reviewed by the divine courts of heaven, has finally reached its end. God says the decision that has been given is so powerful, so life-changing, so divinely aligned with your destiny that if you saw even a glimpse of what is unfolding behind the scenes, you would fall to your knees in awe, your heart bursting with gratitude and disbelief. God says this is highly confidential. You are not supposed to know the details just yet, but He is revealing this to you because you are chosen. You must open your heart to this message within the next few seconds because the spiritual window through which this truth is being delivered is extremely delicate, and heaven warns that this moment will not stay open forever. God says this message carries the weight of destiny, and if it vanishes before it enters your soul, you might miss the very miracle that has been trying to reach you for months. God says you are safe, protected, surrounded, and covered, even if you cannot feel it every day. Even if you think nothing has changed. Even if you feel alone sometimes. Even if your life has felt like a long war that you never asked to fight. God says the reason Archangel Michael is dancing is because he just won something on your behalf. A battle you never saw. A conflict you never knew existed. A spiritual attack that was silently plotting against you, weaving itself into your days, trying to steal your peace, your blessings, your opportunities, your clarity. But Michael shattered it. God says Michael didn't just break it, he destroyed it completely, leaving nothing behind, leaving no trace, no stain, no shadow. He has been fighting for you even when you felt unheard, unseen, or forgotten. In the heavenly realm, your name has been echoing loudly, carried by angels who refuse to let you fall. God says this moment is not an accident. This is a divine appointment. This is a sacred intersection where heaven and your destiny meet. You are reading this because the heavens insisted that you must know what is unfolding. God says, listen closely, your case was not simple. Your case was not ordinary. Your case was layered with things you didn't understand, things you didn't notice, and things that were unfairly placed on you by broken people, jealous souls, and hidden enemies who tried to dim your light. There were people who spoke against you, not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. Your destiny has always been bigger than the places you stood in. Your light has always been brighter than the rooms you were allowed to enter. And your calling has always been higher than the shoulders of those who tried to hold you down. God says your name was whispered in darkness, but heaven shouted louder. Your worth was questioned by humans, but heaven never questioned it for a second. There were people who wanted you to lose simply because your existence challenged their insecurity. They wanted delays in your life because they were threatened by the speed at which God planned to elevate you. They wanted confusion around you because clarity in your life would expose their lies. But God says the court of heaven has reviewed everything. every lie, every betrayal, every silent tear you cried at night, every prayer you whispered with a trembling voice, every moment you kept going even when your spirit felt exhausted. God says nothing was missed. Nothing was overlooked. Nothing was ignored. And that is why the decision in your case has brought Archangel Michael to tears of joy and victory. God says this decision is final. Nothing and no one can overturn it. No force of darkness can interfere with it. No jealousy can delay it anymore. No hidden enemy can block it. The cycle that tormented you is broken. The chains that held you back are destroyed. The path that was blurred is now opening clearly. There is a shift happening that you can't see with your physical eyes yet. But your spirit has already begun to feel it. God says the divine decision has been signed, sealed, and delivered, and now heaven is preparing to release it into your physical world. God says something extraordinary. The reason this message feels urgent is because heaven is trying to synchronize your heart with what is about to unfold. When blessings come too suddenly, without warning, humans often react with fear instead of acceptance. God says He is preparing your spirit so that when the breakthrough comes, you will not freeze in disbelief or step back in hesitation. He wants you ready. He wants your heart open. He wants your spirit aligned. He wants you to understand that what is coming is not a coincidence. It is the outcome of a heavenly decision made in your favor. God says the tears that will fall from your eyes soon will not be tears of sadness. They will not be tears of fear or confusion. They will be tears of release, tears of victory, tears of recognition that everything you have gone through was leading you to this moment. God says the pain you carried silently, the battles you fought without telling anyone, the heartbreaks you endured with a brave face, the disappointments you swallowed even when they pierced your soul, none of it was in vain. All of it was preparing you for the miracle that is stepping toward you now. God says you think you have seen blessings before, but you haven't seen anything yet. The blessing coming next is not ordinary. It is not small. It is not temporary. It is life-changing, destiny-shifting, spiritually transforming. It is a blessing that will heal wounds you forgot you had. It will restore things you thought were lost forever. It will bring clarity to situations that confused you for years. It will bring justice to places where you were wronged. And it will bring joy into spaces inside you that have been empty for far too long. God says this is why the message is confidential. Not everyone around you would be able to understand it. Not everyone can handle the weight of your blessing. Some people would try to sabotage it. Some would try to plant doubt. Some would pretend to celebrate you while secretly hoping you fail. God says that is why He kept this hidden until now. That is why He waited until the case in heaven was closed. That is why He is delivering this message directly to you, and only you. God says you must trust Him now more than ever. Trust Him when the situation looks quiet. Trust Him when nothing seems to be moving. Trust Him when your life feels the same. Trust Him when you feel tired. Trust Him when things are uncertain. God says the silence before a breakthrough is the loudest confirmation that a miracle is on its way. Heaven becomes still when something powerful is about to be released. The atmosphere shifts, the angels gather, the divine court finalizes the decree, and then, with perfect timing, the blessing enters your life so suddenly that you understand why heaven asked you to be patient. God says He sees your heart. He sees how pure your intentions are. He sees how deeply you care for others even when they do not care the same for you. He sees how loyal you are even when people take advantage of your loyalty. He sees how much you give even when you receive so little in return. He sees how you hide your pain so others don't worry. He sees how you fight battles silently just to keep peace in your world. God says heaven has been watching, and it has weighed your heart. And the verdict is simple: you deserve the blessing that is coming. You deserve the happiness that is on the way. You deserve the breakthrough that is unfolding. You deserve the abundance, the peace, the love, the opportunities, the joy, the elevation, the success, the restoration. God says you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are protected. You are covered by the wings of Archangel Michael, who stands beside you with a strength unmatched in the heavenly realm. He has been guarding you day and night. He has been clearing paths you didn't even know existed. He has been fighting battles before they ever reached you. He has been intercepting energies, intentions, and attacks meant to harm you. That is why He is dancing today. That is why He is rejoicing. The victory He brought back from heaven's battlefield is not ordinary. It is massive. It is decisive. It is final. God says you will soon see signs. Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. A sudden shift in your energy. Unexpected relief. Strange coincidences that make you wonder. People revealing their true colors. Opportunities that come out of nowhere. A person reaching out with news that changes everything. A door opening that was locked for years. A blessing arriving disguised as a simple moment. God says your intuition will increase. Your dreams will become clearer. Your heart will feel lighter. These are not random sensations, they are spiritual confirmations that the decision in your case has entered the physical world. God says breathe. You are being lifted. You are being restored. You are being guided. You are being protected. You are being prepared. Everything that felt heavy is about to feel light. Everything that felt delayed is about to accelerate. Everything that felt uncertain is about to make perfect sense. Everything you prayed for is stepping toward you. Everything that was taken from you is being replaced with something better. Everything that hurt you is being healed by the divine hand of God Himself. God says the decision has been made. Archangel Michael is dancing because your destiny is shifting. And God says the blessing will reach you sooner than you think. Trust Him. You are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. God says this is your moment. Open your heart. Receive it, my beloved child. Take a deep breath now. Because what I am about to tell you is not ordinary, not casual, not something meant for anyone else on this earth. God says He has been waiting for this exact moment to reach you, and Archangel Michael is already in motion. Yes, he is dancing in happiness, filled with a joy so powerful that even heaven shakes with it. Because something that has been held back for so long, something that was blocked, delayed, postponed, interfered with, attacked, and resisted, has finally reached its divine conclusion. Your case, your situation, your suffering, your pain, your prayer, your battle, your breakthrough, has reached its end. And now heaven has issued a decision that will bring tears to your eyes. Tears of relief. Tears of joy. Tears that finally wash away years of weight you have been carrying alone. But God is whispering something you must understand. This is highly confidential. This is not for public ears, not for casual minds. It is only for you. And God said, if they open this late, even by seconds, the blessing will shift dimensions and vanish. That is why Archangel Michael has been urging you, pushing you, shaking you, pulling your spirit toward this moment, telling you to open it instantly, and now that you have opened it, heaven is moving. Right now. Right this second. In your favor, God wants you to know that nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected. You are surrounded with light so intense that no darkness can stand near you. You just have to trust Him and pray to Him, because what is happening around you, both in the physical world and in the spiritual world, is deeper than you know. Now listen carefully, because God says this message must enter your heart word by word. For so long, you have been standing in the middle of storms that were never meant to last this long. You thought the winds were punishing you, but God says they were shaping you. You thought the difficulties were breaking you, but God says they were preparing you. You thought you were losing everything, but heaven says they were removing what was hurting you in silence. There were nights when you cried silently, hoping someone would understand, hoping someone would see your pain, hoping someone would help you. But God says, my child, I saw every tear you cried. I heard every word you whispered in your heart. I counted every moment you held yourself together when you wanted to fall apart. You thought God was silent, but He was watching the entire battlefield. You thought heaven forgot you, but God was actually positioning every event, every person, every energy, every shift to bring you to this exact moment. Archangel Michael has been by your side the entire time. When you felt pressure, when you felt anxiety, when you felt fear, when you felt trapped with no doors open, Michael was standing right next to you, redirecting attacks, blocking enemies, stopping disasters, breaking curses you didn't even know were sent toward you. And now, He is dancing, dancing in joy, dancing in victory, dancing because the final decision regarding your destiny has been made. Heaven has signed it. God has sealed it. Your case, which has been pending in spiritual realms for years, has finally reached its divine conclusion. God says, the suffering you endured was not random. It was not meaningless. It was not punishment. It was purification. There were people plotting behind your back. Their intentions were not hidden from heaven. Their words were not ignored. Their plans were not unseen. God says, I watched everything they tried. I allowed none of it to destroy you. I turned every weapon into dust. There were energies sent toward you, jealousy, hatred, curses, negativity, but every single one bounced off the shield that Michael placed around your spirit. They did not touch you. They did not enter your destiny. They did not break your spirit. Because God says, my child, I protected you even when you didn't know you were under attack. But now, the season of war is ending. A new season is opening. And Michael is celebrating because heaven has issued a verdict that changes everything for you. God says, this is the moment I turn your pain into promise. This is the moment I turn your tears into testimony. This is the moment I turn your waiting into winning. The reason heaven is strict about timing, the reason God said open in 5 seconds or it will vanish, is because this blessing has been fought over in spiritual realms. Darkness wanted to delay it. People wanted to block it. Energies wanted to confuse you. But the moment you opened this message, the final lock broke, the blessing is released. Now God wants to speak directly to your heart. For so long, you endured loneliness. You endured betrayal. You endured doubt. You endured silence from those you trusted the most. You endured long seasons of standing alone, without understanding why life was testing you. But my child, isolation was not punishment. It was protection. There were people God removed from your life because their energy was dangerous. There were opportunities God withheld because they would have harmed you later. There were relationships God shut down because they were not part of your divine path. Every ending was a rescue. Every delay was direction. Every rejection was redirection. You are not unlucky. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are hidden until the right time. You are not abandoned. You are guarded by heaven, and now God says, this is your moment. This is your divine hour. Everything that was meant for you is returning. Everything that was delayed is accelerating. Everything that was broken is being restored. The angels have gathered. Heaven is standing. Michael is leading them with his sword lifted high. Because your breakthrough is not small, it is massive. It is life-changing. It is emotional. It is deep. It is sacred. God says you need to know what has just ended. A cycle has closed. A karmic chapter has ended. A spiritual attack has been neutralized. A curse has been reversed. A battle has been won. A blessing has been released. Your name has been cleared. Your path has been opened. Your destiny has been rewritten in gold, but the most shocking part, the decision that will bring tears to your eyes, is this: God says, you are about to receive something that was denied to you for years. Something that people tried to keep away from you. Something heaven protected until it was the right time. Something that will lift your spirit, heal your soul, and restore everything you lost. This is why Michael is dancing. Because the blessing assigned to you is extremely powerful, extremely rare, extremely sacred, and now that you have seen this message, it cannot be taken away from you. Listen carefully. God says, you are going to see justice. Real justice. Divine justice. The kind that leaves no doubt that I am with you. Someone who wronged you, someone who lied, betrayed, manipulated, or tried to sabotage your life, is about to face consequences. Not because God wants revenge, but because God wants restoration for you. And restoration cannot happen until truth is exposed and balance is restored. This is why heaven said this message is confidential. Because if certain people knew what blessing is coming your way, they would panic. They would try to block it again. They would interfere. But God says, this time, they cannot touch what I am giving you. Your breakthrough is sealed. Your blessing is protected. Your path is cleared. Your destiny is activated. You are stepping into a chapter where everything makes sense. Where every struggle was leading somewhere. Where every delay was divine preparation. You are not stepping into blessings, you are stepping into overflow. God says, my child, your heart is pure. Your intentions are good. Your soul is gentle. That is why heaven has moved for you. Even when people misunderstood you, you still loved. Even when people hurt you, you still forgave. Even when people abandoned you, you still stood strong. Even when life broke you, you kept faith. Even when everything was dark, you still whispered, God, I trust you. Heaven listened. Heaven remembered. Heaven responded. This is why your reward is not small. It is big, bigger than what you prayed for, bigger than what you imagined, bigger than what you ever thought was possible for someone like you. God says you have reached the turning point, the moment your tears turn into testimonies. Your fear turns into faith, your loss turns into blessing, and your battles turn into miracles. God wants you to know this deeply: you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are covered by my light. No evil can touch you. No plan can harm you. No darkness can invade you. You just have to trust me. Pray to me. Stay close to me. I am leading you into a divine transformation. And Archangel Michael says, my beloved protected one, it is done. The war is over. The burden is lifted. The darkness has scattered. Step forward now. What is coming will shock you, bless you, transform you. This message is not a warning. It is not a threat. It is not fear, it is a divine announcement. A holy confirmation, a spiritual declaration that your time has finally arrived. God says, you survived what was designed to destroy you. Now you will receive what is designed to elevate you. Prepare yourself. Something powerful is unfolding. Something beautiful is approaching. Something long awaited is coming to you. Something heaven-signed is entering your life, and nothing can stop it now. You are safe. You are protected. You are chosen. You just have to trust God and pray to Him. Your breakthrough has begun. God says that there are moments in your life when heaven pauses everything just to focus on you, and right now is one of those rare, sacred moments. You may not realize what is unfolding behind the scenes. But Archangel Michael has been watching your steps, your tears, your faith, and your silent endurance, and today something has shifted so drastically in your spiritual atmosphere that even the angels are reacting. God says that this message comes wrapped in urgency, but not the kind meant to scare you, rather, the kind meant to awaken you to a miracle you didn't even realize was already sitting at the edge of your destiny. God says that these words are meant for your spirit more than your ears, because your soul has been waiting for this confirmation, and heaven is moving faster than you think. God says that Archangel Michael is dancing, truly dancing, with relief and joy because the case heaven has been reviewing, the one involving everything you've suffered, everything you've prayed for, everything you've deserved but haven't received yet, has finally reached its final stage. God says that heaven's decision has been made, and what is coming for you will bring tears to your eyes, not from pain but from overwhelming gratitude. You have been carrying weight that nobody sees, questions that nobody answers, and battles that nobody understands. But God says that today something has closed, something has ended, something has finished in the spiritual realm, and the result is in your favor. God says that He knows you sometimes feel forgotten, ignored, overlooked, or abandoned by the world, but heaven has never once lost sight of you. Every prayer you whispered, even the ones you prayed while half asleep, half broken, half exhausted, was collected and placed before God's throne. And God says He has spent this entire season watching how you react to the storms that were meant to break you. You did not collapse. You did not surrender to darkness. You kept going even when your spirit was tired, and because of that, things are shifting right now with an urgency even Archangel Michael cannot contain. God says that this message is highly confidential because what is happening for you is not meant to be shared with everyone. Not everyone around you is prepared to hear the truth that your suffering season is ending. Not everyone is ready to watch you rise, transform, and finally receive the things that were withheld from you. Some people around you would try to interfere, discourage you, or block your blessings if they knew what heaven is preparing. That's why God is speaking to you directly, and urgently. God says that this message carries heaven's stamp of secrecy. It is meant for your spirit only. It is meant for your eyes, your heart, and your journey, God says that what is coming will not vanish from your life, but the opportunity to align with it emotionally, mentally, and spiritually needs your quick response. That's why the message says to open it within 5 seconds, because your spirit must acknowledge what God is releasing. When you read these words with faith, heaven records your acceptance. When you receive this message in your heart, you give God permission to accelerate the blessing. And God says that right now your acceptance matters more than anything else. This is a turning point, and heaven cannot push your blessing without your agreement. God says that for the longest time, you have been in a spiritual battle you didn't ask for. You have been questioned, misjudged, underestimated, and even betrayed by people who claimed to love you. And while you tried to explain yourself, defend yourself, or simply survive, God was documenting everything. He saw the lies spoken about you. He saw the hands that tried to block you. He saw the eyes that watched you struggle without offering to help. He saw the silent enemies smiling to your face and secretly hoping you failed. But God says that everything they did only added to heaven's case in your favor. Every injustice became evidence. Every tear became proof. Every sleepless night became testimony. And now the case has reached heaven's court, and the decision has been finalized. God says that Michael dancing is a sign that something major broke loose in your life. Not something small, not something symbolic, but something literally life-changing. Michael is celebrating because the spiritual chains that held you back have snapped. The invisible barriers that blocked your opportunities have been destroyed. The delays that frustrated you have been completely overturned. God says that the forces that once tried to shut your blessings down no longer have authority, access, or influence over your future. You are stepping into something that has been long overdue, and heaven is thrilled to finally deliver it. God says that there were people who doubted you, questioned your purpose, or tried to make you feel like you didn't matter. But heaven never measured your worth by human standards. Heaven saw your heart. Heaven saw your intentions. Heaven saw your goodness even when others overlooked it. And because of that, your blessing is being magnified. God says that what's coming is bigger than you prayed for, faster than you expected, and more personal than you imagined. God says that this is one of those blessings that makes you stop, cry, smile, and thank God all at once. God says that He knows how heavy things became for you. He knows the nights when you carried pain silently because you didn't want to burden anyone. He knows the moments when you felt numb because life felt unfair. He knows about the decisions you made with a shaky heart, hoping you were doing the right thing. He knows about the strength you had to pretend to have on days when all you wanted was rest. And God says you did not survive those moments alone. Archangel Michael was standing right beside you, shielding you from attacks you never saw, redirecting danger you never felt, and protecting blessings you didn't even know were coming. God says that Michael is not just dancing because of the decision, he is dancing because of you. Because you held on. Because you didn't break. Because you didn't give up. Because you kept believing even when your hope was running out. Heaven is celebrating not only your breakthrough but also your resilience. God says that your endurance has been honored in heaven, and now the reward has been released. You have reached the end of a long spiritual case, and the verdict is victory. God says that you are entering a season where clarity will finally replace confusion. Doors that were locked for years will suddenly open. People who once ignored you will suddenly notice you. Opportunities you thought were lost will return stronger than before. The things that once scared you will lose their power. The anxieties that once controlled you will fade. The disappointments that haunted you will dissolve. God says that peace is returning to you in ways you haven't felt in a long time. And this peace will be accompanied by blessings that touch every corner of your life: relationships, finances, family, health, self-worth, and divine purpose. God says that He has been preparing a miracle that requires perfect timing, and now the timing has finally aligned. The delay was not denial, it was protection. God kept certain things from happening earlier because the wrong people were still around you. God delayed certain blessings because He needed to remove certain voices from your environment. God says that the waiting was never meant to punish you, it was meant to prepare you. And now that you are ready, heaven is ready to deliver. God says that the breakthrough coming to you is so powerful that even the enemies who wished to see you fall will be speechless. People who once doubted you will have to watch you rise. People who mistreated you will have to witness your blessings. God is not elevating you to embarrass others, He is elevating you to restore everything that was stolen from you. Every loss will be replaced. Every setback will be reversed. Every disappointment will be transformed. God says that this time, nothing will interrupt your blessing. God says that He is holding your hand through this transition. You may feel like things are shifting quickly, almost overwhelmingly, but God says that this acceleration is intentional. Heaven wants you to move into your blessing before any negativity tries to return. You are being placed in a spiritual fast lane, not because you asked, but because God chose you for this. God says that you have a purpose that is bigger than your pain, and your breakthrough is a key part of that purpose. God says that your name has been spoken in heaven repeatedly over the last few days. Angels have been assigned to rearrange things in your life. Doors have been unlocked. Paths have been cleared. Obstacles have been removed. Every force that tried to stop you is being silenced permanently. God says that you are safe, protected, loved, and divinely guided. Even when you feel uncertain, heaven is already ahead of you. God says that the sadness you feel sometimes is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of transformation. You are shedding your old self, your old fears, your old doubts, your old limitations. Heaven is making room for the new version of you, the version that walks with confidence, faith, courage, and divine authority. God says that the new season requires a new you, and that new you is emerging quickly. God says that your life is about to surprise you. Something unexpected is coming, something good, something divine, something powerful. And when it arrives, you will understand why God made you wait, why He made you endure, why He made you hold on. It will all make sense. He will turn every painful chapter into a testimony of strength. God says that nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected. You are covered. You just have to trust God and pray to Him. He has already gone before you and prepared the path. All you need to do now is keep your heart open and your faith active. Heaven is on your side, and the blessing is already on its way. God says, listen closely, because this message is not just another moment in your day, this is the moment heaven has been waiting for. Archangel Michael is dancing in happiness, and that itself is something that the angels have rarely witnessed in such magnitude. His wings are trembling with joy, his sword is glowing brighter than ever, because something concerning your life has finally reached its completion in the spiritual realm. Your case has reached its end. The decision has been made. And God says that what is about to unfold will bring tears to your eyes, not tears of pain, not tears of fear, but tears of shock, relief, breakthroughs, and long-awaited justice. God says this message is highly confidential, meant only for you, and you must open it within 5 seconds in the Spirit, because the gates delivering this message are fragile. Once closed, they take years to reopen. But you are here, and because you opened this in the right moment, the message that was almost erased has now reached you. God says He has seen every moment of your silence, every tear you never told anyone about, every betrayal you swallowed quietly, every humiliation you absorbed without a single complaint, and every night when your heart whispered, God, when will this end? Heaven has heard that prayer. Not once, not twice, but continuously, like a rhythm echoing through the chambers of heaven. And now the answer has reached you. God says nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe, you are protected, and no force on earth or beyond can interfere now. You just have to trust God and pray to Him, because the moment that Archangel Michael has been fighting for has arrived, and the decision about your life is being written in golden ink. Archangel Michael is dancing because a battle that lasted far too long has ended in your favor. He is not celebrating for himself. He is celebrating for you. He has been guarding you, shielding you, blocking arrows meant to wound you, lifting burdens meant to break you. He has been circling you, whispering into your spirit, nudging you away from dangers you never even saw. He has been standing beside you when darkness tried to wrap itself around your life. And now He is dancing because the chapter that tried to bury you has been closed permanently by divine order. Michael says there were forces that questioned whether you would survive, whether you would give up, whether you would break under pressure. But you didn't. You stayed standing, even if you were standing with trembling knees. You stayed trusting, even if your faith felt thin. You stayed believing, even when everything seemed silent. And for that, heaven is now rewarding you in ways that will shake the ground beneath your feet. God says the decision that was made about you is something that will shift your entire reality. Something has been signed in the spiritual realm, a verdict that overturns everything that was used against you. The lies spoken about you, the jealousy directed at you, the trap set to embarrass you, the whispers behind your back, the people who pretended to be your friends but prayed for your downfall, all of it has been exposed before God's throne. And God says the final judgment has been delivered. None of their plans will ever stand, none of their words will ever hold power, and none of their intentions will ever be fulfilled. God says justice has finally stepped into your life, not human justice, not court justice, not karma, divine justice. The kind that cannot be reversed, cannot be appealed, cannot be undone. Archangel Michael is dancing because he has been carrying your file, your case, your tears, your suffering, your unanswered questions, and presenting them repeatedly before God. And today, the final stamp has been placed on it. Heaven has closed the case. God says your waiting season is over. The spiritual delay has been crushed. The obstacles have been removed. The hands that tried to block your blessings have been tied spiritually. The voices that tried to speak against you have been silenced. The chains that restricted your progress have been shattered. And now, the road before you is being cleared. Michael has been removing every unseen force from the path, preparing the way for what is coming. God says there is a decision coming to your life that will shock you. A breakthrough you never expected. A result you thought might never come. A shift that will feel almost unreal. God says it will bring tears to your eyes when you see it. Not because it hurts, but because it finally confirms everything your soul whispered to you in your weakest moments. God says you will realize you were never forgotten. You were never ignored. You were never abandoned. Heaven was working behind the scenes every second. And now the outcome is moving toward you faster than you think. God says the next days, weeks, and moments will show you why the battle was so intense. You will soon understand why you were attacked so much. Why some people turned against you for no reason. Why certain relationships fell apart at the exact moment they did. Why opportunities were blocked. Why delays happened. Why you were isolated. Why you felt alone even in crowded rooms. God says everything that happened was part of a divine removal process. He was removing the wrong people, the wrong energies, the wrong connections, and the wrong influences from your life. He was protecting you from entering blessings with people who would have poisoned them. God says He separated you to save you. Archangel Michael says the forces that tried to stop this moment are furious now because they lost. They tried everything to prevent this message from reaching you. They tried to cloud your mind with doubt. They tried to overwhelm you with fear. They tried to distort your path. They tried to pull you into confusion. They tried to break your spirit so that you would give up just before the blessing arrived. But you didn't. And that's why Michael is dancing. He is dancing because you survived a war you didn't even know you were fighting. God says there is something specific coming toward you that will end cycles of suffering. Something final. something decisive. Something that will rewrite your story. You have reached the point where heaven says enough. Enough of struggle. Enough of pain. Enough of injustice. Enough of delay. Enough of disappointment. Enough of betrayal. Enough of waiting. Enough of crying. Enough of praying for things that seemed stuck. God says this is the moment where everything begins to move.